The third case, I will demonstrate you the total failure of the judiciary of the Republic of Sri Lanka. You know the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, his brother, he was not a member elected by the people. He came through the national list, where, and I must tell you, there is no such law called national list to appoint defeated candidates to the parliament. Yet, he was appointed to the national list of the parliament on 8th of July 2021. The following day, this is really unimaginable, the extent of corruption in this country. He brought in a bill that is to grant tax exemption and general tax amnesty to the tax fraudsters. That is to allow people who rob the public funds or engage in corrupt activities to bring in their money wherever the source may be, maybe from outside Sri Lanka, to bring it here. They need not declare even their identity. They can declare their funds, and on payment of 1%, just 1% tax, in a way, it's a laundered money, they were allowed to bring this money and make it lawful. Under that particular law, there are 4 sectors identified. That is, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. That means money, laundered money was permitted under that law to bring into Sri Lanka with no fear or favor. Second, all this, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, I must tell you, this act was designed and enacted by the parliament in keeping with the international obligation of the Republic of Sri Lanka. Second one is Convention on the Suppression of Terrorist Financing. That is again, under the Sri Lankan's obligation under the international treaty, this act was enacted. But the Gotabaya's brother, Basil Rajapaksa, permitted whatever the amount of money, the money generated by these 2 activities, money laundering and terrorism. He said, nothing wrong, you can bring this money. Third thing, bribery and corruption. Again, there's an international treaty, again, the bribery and corruption. Sri Lankan government straight away violated its international obligation, and this bill, Basil Rajapaksa's bill, allowed people to bring in this money and declare on payment of 1%. Fourth one, prevention against illicit trafficking of narcotic drugs and other substances. Again, it is a bill, it's a law enacted by the government of Sri Lanka in 2008 in keeping with the international obligation. But this law, I mean, just one day after he was brought in through the national list, this law was brought in and it was enacted, it was gazetted, and when it was published in the Gazette and tabled on the order paper of through the order paper of the parliament, it was challenged in the Supreme Court. You won't believe, this is a direct violation of the Article 12 of the Constitution. Article 12 very clearly said, no 2 citizens can be treated differently. The law says, every citizen is entitled to equal protection and equality before law. In this country, poor people pay tax for food items, tin food, and all that. Even tin fish, 50%. And these people who rob public funds using different methods, laundered money, they were allowed to borrow this money on payment of 1%. When this bill was challenged in the Supreme Court was under duty to make sure fundamental rights of the citizens are defended and protected. That is the very purpose of the Supreme Court under Article 105. And people expect the Supreme Court to reject this bill because it is unconstitutional. No bill that violates the fundamental rights of the citizen can be brought in without the sanction, without obtaining people's sanction, mandate from the people at a referendum. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court failed. Supreme Court again let down the people and allowed the government of Sri Lanka, the Basil Rajapaksa, to enact this law and permit these people to bring this money unlawfully. Can you believe it? This is very, very sad, but it happened in this country.